Oh, yeah. Here we go. Sunset Rewind FanZone, episode number 2. How you doing today, Coach?
Just living the dream.
Absolutely. So let's jump right into the fan questions and comments for this week. Adam Trad asked if we could open up with some LL Cool J. Well,
if you're paying attention, Adam, you asked for it, we're going to give it to you.
You got it.
My first fan question is from Crew. God, I hate these names. Kaczynski. I hope I got that right, Crew, and if not, I apologize. Play some Dua Lipa. There's actually a backstory to this, and Murph, I'm going to set you up real quick. So after every show, we get together as a team, and we talk about the things we like, don't like, what we can add, what we should take out. And so last week, we came up with the idea of adding music as we fade in and fade out. The first song we actually chose was Dua Lipa,
That's
One
awesome.
Kiss.
It's so good.
And Murph, why don't you explain why that was problematic?
Got to get the mic up. There we go.
That helps.
Hey, yeah. So the reason it's problematic is that some artists don't let you use their copywritten songs on YouTube. YouTube has a really cool thing called Content ID that copywritten works can be used. And what they do is they just force a little commercial in the beginning of the video, which we all know to skip in 5 seconds. But for some reason, most artists let you, but there's a handful that don't. And Dua Lipa is one that will not let you use for music.
So is there an algorithm that catches it right away, or how do they?
Yeah, it's the team at YouTube. I mean, they're huge.
Okay.
Google owns YouTube. But YouTube's like the second biggest search engine in the world besides Google. But yeah, so they know how to see what's being played, and they just go, eh. When you're about to upload your video, you'll see that it's blocked worldwide or blocked partially. But most artists let you use it because it's a smart thing. They get paid if your video does well.
Royalties, right?
They just, you just get the views, which is what most people want. So
Yeah.
it's
So-
kind of funny that we tried to do Dua Lipa last
Of
video.
all artists.
Right. It was so funny, the comment. And so we had to take it down, find audio where it wasn't, and it was difficult. But usually they're producers too. It's
Right.
not usually the artist that says that. It's
But-
the other writers or the producers or whoever else.
You had mentioned we were blocked in India. So my question was like, I don't think we have a lot of fans watching this in India. So my question would be like, who cares if we're not?
Wait a second.
Right.
Wait.
Could
Well,
it potentially get worse? Like, what's the danger of that?
I wasn't able to see all the places it was blocked.
Okay.
Actually, sometimes you can. I didn't. We were trying to get the edit up on time.
Right.
And that's the main thing. And
We
I'm
have
like,
a schedule we're going against, so we have to get this out by Monday.
Yeah, it
type
could have
thing.
been that there were some big places it was partially blocked. So I go, let's just put up the stuff that they'll allow us, like the ones we put up, the Roots,
Right. So
all
Crew,
that stuff.
we want to play some Dua Lipa. We all agreed it was a great
Trust me,
song. It
we
was
do.
our first
Yes,
song, as a matter of
Crew.
fact, but the higher beans up.
We're on board with you on that one.
I'm blaming the producers. I feel like it's their producers. It's not her.
Okay. So Dua, you're off the hit list.
Yeah. We're still big fans.
All right, let's move on. And thank you, Murph, for chiming in on that. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's good information to have.
Isaac Hernandez.
Isaac asked us, you said all 6 teams will make the playoffs. How many do you have actually winning it all? Oof, that's a tough one.
You want to start with this one?
Yeah, you go ahead. I'll defer to you, Coach.
I can't make that prediction until I know what division they're in. Remember, the season gets played out, and then they're going to get slotted in different divisions. So, for example, let's just say Los Al. If they go open, I live in Los Al. I love
Yeah.
Los Al. I know half that staff, but I don't see them winning the open. However, if they get bumped down to Division 1, that's a whole different ballgame. So let's see how the season ends, and once we know what divisions are going in, I'll be more confident making a prediction about who's going to win CIF.
Like right now, Isaac, if you were to give me the scenario, hey, Los Al is going to be in this division, Huntington Beach is going to be in this division, Corona Del Mar is going to be in this division, it'd be real yes or no answers, real simple. Like I think there's definitely divisions that if Los Al lands in, they're going to win it all. Same with CDM, same with Huntington. I mean, anybody in the Sunset League.
You can make that argument with all the teams in the league. So
Yeah,
it's just a wait and
absolutely.
see at this point.
Absolutely.
Rich Carrillo. Now, this was a great comment. If you go back to the Fan Zone episode, he had a real long write-up. Long story short, he was a former football player at Huntington Beach, played defensive back in the early 80s.
Oh, cool.
And he had a suggestion that we do an episode where we highlight some of the great teams, some of the great coaches, some of the great
Yeah.
players from back in the day. I love the idea, Rich. I can tell you right now, before we got this job, we kind of got hired late into the game. So we already had prior commitments. We coached football at the lower levels at Cypress. We teach. We're doing this show. We're trying to get to 6 different games. It's just there's not enough time in the day right now with our schedule to do that. However, once the season's over And by spring, when we're just dying for some football and we're over watching hot dog eating contests on ESPN, we can do something where, once a week or once a month, we highlight some of the great teams from
Rich,
the
that's a
Sunset
great
League.
idea. I love that idea.
The great coaches interview them and things like that. So you get a round of applause. I like that.
Yeah, thanks for the
Rich. That's good
suggestion.
stuff.
That's a great idea.
And that's exactly what we're looking for from the fans. Give us ideas like that, and we'll run with it.
So, Sneaky Neeky asks for more line coverage. So, Murphy, we'll go to a very, very special interview that Coach Pottios did on this past
Sneaky
Friday
Leaky,
night.
you want more line? We're giving you more line. This is the entire offensive line of Edison football after the game last week.
All the big guys.
Here we go.
We are here with the Edison offensive line. Gentlemen, why don't you say introduce yourself? If you want to give your name, height, and weight, feel free. We'll start with the left side of the line.
My name is Nate Gates. I'm 6'5" and 285 pounds.
Picasso, yeah, 6'1", 310.
Luke Jones, 6 foot, 260. Zachary Gruma, 6 foot, 260.
Logan Shield, 6'1", 245.
I don't know if you guys know this, but a ton is 2,000 pounds. You guys are almost over half a ton of Edison beef. I love it. So my first question for you is this. If you can only run one play in the entire game, what play do you want the coach to call? So only get to run one.
Red Eagle?
Red Eagle.
Red Eagle? That's classified.
You're all on ready?
I can't say that. Classified.
Inside zone.
100 people are watching.
Well, what's Red Eagle?
No, we don't know.
We're not allowed to talk about Red Eagle?
No.
But you like when they call it?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Would you rather run block or pass block?
Run all day. All day,
You know your
baby.
quarterback's dropped back about 50 times this year between the 2 games and the scrimmage. He hasn't been sacked yet.
Not
So
yet.
you like to run block, but
We
he
gotta
hasn't been sacked.
You can pass block.
All right, well, here's the big question, $1 million question. Next week, we got Orange Lutheran. We're kicking the game up a notch, right? You're 2-0, but now we're going to the Trinity League. We played them last year. It's a good ball game. What can you tell me about Orange Lou, and what do we got to do to beat those guys?
It all starts up front. Movement, if we get movement, we get those big guys off the line, I think we'll win the game.
Be physical. Be physical. We don't know much
Physicality
about
wins.
this. We play week by week.
You're not looking ahead, is that what you're telling me?
No.
Oh, that's
We'll
the right
start
answer.
tomorrow.
That's a trick question.
We'll start tomorrow.
All right, well, guys, look, you're 2-0. We'd really love to see you get to 3-0. Best of luck with the rest of preseason. Congratulations on the win tonight. Thanks for spending time with Sunset Rewind.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys. Thank you.
All right. Michael Hogue chimed in, and he had a compliment for us, Coach. He said, "Great work, fellas. Love watching your shows." Thank you very much, Michael. We appreciate that greatly. That means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. And I wonder if that's Ashton and Riley's father. We're going to get to those two in a minute.
Right,
We'll
right.
tease that a little bit, but we certainly do appreciate the
Yeah.
compliment.
Thank you so much. That's very nice of you to say.
Who we got next?
Taryn Rodriguez,
Oh, our man in the studio.
our reporter. Taryn Rodriguez. So it was brought up last week if there was a rivalry game between Edison and Huntington Beach, what would some good names be? Taryn had some brilliant calls. So the first is the Clash at Cap, obviously referring to Cap Shoe Stadium or Cap Shoe Field, or the Clash at Cap Shoe. And then I like this one a lot, the Surf City Showdown.
I love that one. That's the one I want. The Surf
Yeah.
City Show. It makes sense. These
That's
two high
it.
schools share a
Taryn
city.
gets the props.
Oh, there
for
he is,
that.
Big T.
There's our guy right there,
Let's
Taryn
see
Rodriguez.
those pearly whites. There you go. Look for him on the sidelines, interviewing coaches and players and getting all that footage we were able to put up on Twitter. So
Taryn is the man.
he's grinding it. Good job. Thanks, Taryn.
Thanks, Taryn.
Our next comment is from Bo Elroy. Thank you for Elroy shout-outs and great job as usual. Huntington versus Edison Trophy takes away from the Bell game, which will be competitive again this season. Okay, a couple things.
Okay.
I think it will be a competitive game this year.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you why I respectfully disagree about taking away from that game. There's a lot of teams in college football and high school that have multiple rivalries. Think about
Right.
USC.
Notre Dame
UCLA.
has a rivalry with everybody.
Right, but like
Yeah.
SC and Notre Dame,
Yeah.
SC, UCLA.
Yeah.
Michigan, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio
Ohio
State.
State.
There's plenty of room for rivalries. And the fact that they both share a city, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And the Surf City
Absolutely.
Showdown would be great. It adds more interest. They play for a trophy. It won't take away from the Bell game. Everybody I know in the Fountain Valley community and Edison
Loves
talk
the
about
Bell
that game.
Yeah,
Even,
they all love the Bell game.
yeah, so I'd like to see it happen. We'll just wait and see.
So Anna Aguilar goes back to last week's CDM game. She was there, but she did not have the Sunset Rewind program that we've spoken about in the past. She asked, how does she get one? We're still in the process of getting that edited and all up to print, so they should be available to you soon.
If not this week, definitely next week because
Right.
they're really in the final stages. Long story short is it's almost like herding cats. You've got to get all these coaches to send us all their photos of all their players. That in and of itself is a challenge. Then once you do that, you've got to put it all together, and it goes to print. I mean, there's a process.
Yeah, and of course, feel free to check back with us weekly, and we'll give you any updates we have, Anna. But thank you very much for your question, and hopefully that'll be out very, very, very soon.
All right, it's time for the shout-out segment of the show.
Shout-outs. Who you got, Coach?
How about my man, Cash and Money Hingham, Orange County Register Athlete of the Week. Coach Lofthouse has nothing but positive things to say about him, and rumor has it he might be going Ivy League.
Nice job, Cash.
So he is no dummy.
All he does is score touchdowns, right? The guy's he is money. Cash is money. Makes catches and scores touchdowns. Hey, well-deserved honor. Congratulations to you, Cash. Hey, I'd like to give props to Edison High School for hosting a military night this past Friday against Lusinger. Obviously, we appreciate all the great work that our armed services, our men and women do, protecting our country and giving us this wonderful free country to live in. So thank you to the military personnel, and props to Edison for honoring them.
I'm going to stick with Edison. This season, they're dedicating to two former players who passed away, Joshua and Jeremy Page. They had an auto accident last year, and anybody who's experienced something like that knows how difficult that can be.
Yeah,
and so one of the ways they're honoring them is their jerseys
tough.
are going to be on the sideline for the year. They were two brothers, and again, we talk about how Edison has been so good for so long.
Right.
These are the kind of things that teams like that do. You talk about family, tradition.
It's not just a team; it's a community.
Exactly, and so I think that's a really nice gesture. So big shout out to Edison for doing that.
God bless him.
Yep.
That's awesome. Hey, I'd like to thank Kent Bickel and the Los Alamitos Football Booster Club for hosting a viewing party yesterday at the Griffin's Grill that you and I attended.
Good time.
Griffin Nation was out in full force to support their team, and even though the outcome of the game wasn't what we all wanted, it was still a wonderful event and a fun time. And we just, thanks and appreciate the love that Kent extended us and invited us.
By the way,
to be a
Kent
part
was
of
the
that.
one who recommended us for this gig.
Yeah,
we really owe that. We should have probably covered his tab yesterday.
Nothing but gratitude for Kent. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to give a shout out to the Sunset League. 5 of the 6 teams are still in the Orange County Register's top 25. They will stay in the top 25 after last week. The only losses were Fountain Valley, but that was the one team who wasn't in it. And Los Al, I would be surprised if they dropped even one spot, because there's no team in Orange County that's going out there and beating Heritage. So you can't ding them for that.
No, Los Al should remain right where they are. Yeah, I think so too. Hey, once again, back to Edison. Hey, they made it so easy and user-friendly for us to have sideline access to cover that game the other night, just as it was with Fountain Valley last week. So thank you to the Edison folks for giving us the opportunity to cover that game against Lusinger and making access to the field easy and letting us be a part of the Edison Charger family.
Yeah, and becoming the Edison side show today, because I'm going to stick with Edison. So on accident, I was on YouTube, found a show. It's called Charger One.
Cool.
And basically what they do is they do all the Edison games, home and away, and they put it up on YouTube for the fans to watch. I couldn't catch the name of the announcer, but the girl on the sideline who interviews the coach before and after, her name is Riley Hogue.
Sounds familiar.
I got to think that's the sister, and I don't know this for sure, of Ashton Hogue.
Right.
But we just had what I think was the dad chiming in, so I'll give that show a shout out. They do a really good job, and then like at halftime, they'll do these little features. Like 2 weeks ago, they did I guess it's a tradition at Edison where all the seniors wear tuxedos and they do this big photo shoot.
That's awesome.
Last week, she had actually talked about the military appreciation day. She was talking about volleyball and different positions. So it's a real cool thing if you're an Edison fan or you just want to watch good football. Check it out. It's called Charger One on YouTube.
That's awesome.
I got one more from Peter Townhub. That's got to be his little call sign. I can't imagine that's his. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. So he says, okay, so he's talking about the Fountain Valley quarterback. Noah Banua actually broke our school record for Fountain Valley versus Valencia in game 1 for most yards thrown in a single game. Now, that's all time. You think about some of the great quarterbacks.
Dave Hennigan.
Remember Dave Hennigan back in the 80s, MVP, CIF champion?
Yeah.
I believe Coach Milner was the coach on that team. Anyway, they've
Who was
had
also a coach at El Toro.
That's right, my alma mater. They've had some great quarterbacks for the years, and to break that record as a junior.
And he had a stud receiver back then. Remember Mike Cook?
Yeah.
Who ended up playing at Stanford.
Those Fountain Valley teams back in the day were really loaded. So good job, Noah. Congratulations on that. Let's go to scholarship updates.
Yeah, what do you got this week?
So Colin Post, linebacker at Corona Del Mar, also a baseball player, posted a 3.8 GPA.
Okay.
So another guy getting it done in the classroom. Middlebury has offered support through the admissions process. It's a Division III school in Vermont. He chose his words very interestingly because Division III can't offer scholarships,
Right.
but they can give you a lot of financial aid.
Which you obviously will get.
You know, cheaper college, yes, please. And go Google that school, Middlebury. It's one of the nicest campuses I've ever seen.
I did.
It's got that whole East Coast vibe.
It's beautiful.
I mean, in another life, if I could come back and be like an O-line coach at that school or something like that, it just has that old school feel.
It's almost like a postcard.
Yeah, and I would say to any other player out there who's maybe not getting the Division I scholarship offers you think you're worthy of, there's a lot of other opportunities to get your college, at the very least, a lot cheaper. And how cool would it be if a bunch of people from the Sunset League went to Middlebury, and all of a sudden you got some dudes who are maybe not quite D1, but good enough.
And by the way, I wasn't
trying
trying to make a pun there with call and postcard. I wasn't going for that, but it just kind of
went right over my head.
Right.
But sometimes it works out that way.
Congratulations, though, Colin. That's awesome. We wish you all the best. Middlebury College sounds like a great academic school, and you'll play some football there. And it sounds like a wonderful opportunity to see a really beautiful part of the country. New England is awesome. If you've never been in New England, it's beautiful.
And if you've got scholarship offers of any kind, please send that to us, and we'll definitely give you a shout out on the air. There's a lot of talented players in this league, as we know. We've seen it firsthand. So I got to think a lot more offers are going to be coming down the pike here. But now it's that time of the show.
Players of the Week.
Let's start with you. I'm going to throw this one to you.
All right. I'm going to have to go with the guy who so far this year has the coolest nickname in the Sunset League, Kojo. Colton Joseph of Newport Harbor. He was 11 for 15 for 234 yards, had a 21-yard average per throw. And of those 11 completions, 5 were for touchdowns. Nearly half his throws were for touchdowns.
That whole situation seems to be working out for everybody involved. Yeah. Quarterback, the receivers, the team. I mean, that's a great story. And, yeah, he lit it up. Interestingly enough, I was going to go with him as well. We
talked about it.
Right. So I said, okay, because you got me off the hook. Because the guy I'm going to go with this week was, these are the kind of guys you're not going to read
I thought about this guy too, though.
Okay, but we were at the Edison game. So,
dude.
Dom Lopez, he's
number
a linebacker,
11.
number 11.
He's a dude.
He is a dude. He had a sack. He had an interception. It wasn't a pick six, but I'm giving him the pick six because I was watching the Edison show on YouTube, and his knee never hit the ground. The ref blew it dead. He took it to the house, and there was no one who was going to catch him. So even though it won't go down as a pick six, Dom, you got a pick six, just for the record.
You did, dude.
He made some big hits on third down, and he was
flew
flying
everywhere.
Yeah,
the guy's energy was I was just like, wow. I mean, he's just there was no play that he took off. He was playing to the whistle and everything. And the guy was just, I made a comment to you one point during the game. I'm like, is there 4 of him out there? It's like he was everywhere.
Yeah, so great job, way to step up. And guys, we're looking for you. It doesn't have to be just a step thing. If you're making plays and kind of making those ooh and ah moments that catch everybody's eye, we'll find you.
Dom
so
Lopez, you're a dude. Keep up the great work, man. So predictions for the week.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So first one, Huntington Beach at Long Beach Wilson on Thursday. What do you got?
I think Huntington Beach is going to go to 3-0. They keep getting better. Their offense is finally starting to catch up with the defense. I have them putting up 35 this week. I think they'll give up maybe, let's go 35-10.
Wilson's a decent team. I'm going to go, I like your prediction. I'll give Huntington Beach a win. I'll put it at a little closer, 28-21 Oilers.
All right. What do we got next?
Thursday, we have Fountain Valley versus your alma mater, the El Toro Chargers.
Fountain Valley is going to get up off the mat. They are going to rise again. They are back. I'm telling you, I still feel they're ahead of schedule. Last week was a little hiccup. Not a problem. They're going to get it done. 28-21 Fountain Valley.
Oh, cool. Okay. I agree with you. I think Fountain Valley will bounce back after the El Dorado game last week. Little closer score. I'm going to go Fountain Valley 21, El Toro 20.
I'll take that.
And then we have the Sea King battle. Who is the superior Sea King football team? Corona Del Mar at Palos Verdes on Friday.
Spoiler alert, the real Sea King is Corona Del Mar. They're going to
agree.
take care of business. They're going to roll 48-7.
48-7. Woof. I like that. That's a good prediction. I'm going to go Corona Del Mar 35-7.
Works for me.
All right, now we're getting into the Trinity ball games. Edison versus Orange Lutheran.
All right, now it's getting real. Right
Yeah.
now, we're not messing around.
Now we're in the thick of it.
They played last year. It was a 2-point ball game. I think the fact that Edison has, and obviously Orange Lutheran has film on Edison too, but you can look at those close games and look at what worked, what didn't work. I think Edison's a better team this year. Orange Lutheran is still Orange Lutheran. It's going to be a tight game. Edison can score. They got big players in their defense. I'm going to go 24-21 Edison.
That's a great call. I think it's going to be a tight game like that as well. And it could come down to special teams very well. I'm going to say 28-24 Edison.
Let's do it.
So next we have the other Trinity League game, Newport Harbor and Jay Sarah.
Now we're going to find out what's up with Harbor. We know they can score points. We know they've got the skill positions. One of the big concerns was the loss of all the linemen.
Right.
Jay Sarah and those Trinity League teams have big boys up front. And as we know, games are won in the trenches when it's all said and done. I like Harbor in this one, believe it or not. I do think it's going to be tight. I think they're going to score. Give me Harbor 28-24.
This is one of those like litmus test games, as you say, like Newport Harbor 2-0 after a great start. Everybody's stoked. If they can beat Jay Sarah, though, that's
then they're
like,
the real deal.
That's like next level.
Yeah.
That's like a landmark victory. That's a statement game. And I'm going to go with the Sailors. I'm going to say they get it done. I'm going to say Sailors 21, Jay Sarah 17.
That'd be great.
And finally, we have Basha from Chandler, Arizona, coming out west to visit the Los Alamitos Griffins.
Boy, never a break for the Griffins, right? I mean, just one nationally ranked ringer after another.
Yep.
They're finally home. They get an extra day's rest. I think talent-wise, Basha is more skilled at the skill positions, which is a better matchup for Los Alamitos because, one of their strengths are their skill players. So I'm going to go with Los Al. I'm going to apologize. I got a little overzealous last week and had you guys in a blowout. I probably should have done a little more research, so I'm going to own that too. I didn't realize that dude was going to Ohio State, and it is what it is. So Los Al's going to bounce back. I really believe they are. They're going to score a lot more points. I like them 42, but Bosch is going to get their points too. I'm going to go 42-31 Los Al.
See, I think Los Al is going to really, really bounce back. I think you woke the sleeping bear. I think Los Al is going to come home and remember that game at American Heritage, and I think they're going to have a big rebound. I'm going to go Los Alamitos 42, Basha 21.
Good. Let's have it. And so, hey, how about the league? After 2 weeks, 10-2.
10-2.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's a good start. So the league is trending in the right direction. Just keep it going, guys. If we can get a clean sweep this week, that'd be pretty darn good.
That'd be pretty darn good. So that's been edition number 2 or episode number 2 of the Sunset Rewind Fan Zone. As usual, I'd like to thank Murphy Cargis, Cole Menzinger, Taryn Rodriguez, Eric Ramos, our great team here at Sunset Rewind. Thanks for watching. We'll check in with you next week. Yeah, those games this week are going to be awesome.